This episode of The Broken Mic is dedicated to our lovely and beautiful superstar, diva, and previous women's champion, NXT and WWE Divas champion, Paige. This is the rise and fall of Paige. Welcome back to the shows of shows. Welcome back to the Broken Mic. News and rumors with your host, none other than Joseph J to the motherfucking T. What can I say about Paige? She came into WWE through NXT. She debuted on Raw against AJ. Um, she beat her for the WWE Women's Divas Championship belt on the same night. She became Women's Champion. She went on to make a name for herself. Paige did something that no other woman could do, and that's break through WWE's mode mentality for women. Paige is well known as Sarah Jade Belvis. She was born August 17th, 1992. Um, she signed with the WWE as in ring name Paige, performing on Raw, brand as 1/3 of the trio Absolution. She is a two-time Divas champion and was the inaugural NXT Women's Champion in WWE's developmental branch NXT, holding both championships at the same time. No other woman has done that. You would have thought that they would have let Asuka come in with her NXT belt on her debut on Raw and then lose the belt at a pay-per-view, but no, they had her relinquish the belt. She's also the first competitor born in the 90s to win a championship in WWE. In 2005, at the age of 13, Belvis made her debut in the World Association of Wrestling, a promotion run by her family. Under the ring name Brinati Knight, she went on to hold several championships on independent circuit within Europe. In 2011, she signed a contract with WWE and started wrestling within the developmental system, eventually debuting on WWE's main roster in April 2014. In her debut match on the main roster, she won the Divas Championship belt, becoming the youngest champion in the title's history at age 21. As you can see, today's episode, we're going to talk about the rise and fall of Paige. Paige, from the beginning, has fought to be here. She has crawled and she has clawed, and no other diva has busted her ass on the main roster, in NXT, in the Indies, than her. She made her name herself, and she did it the only way she could. The only way Paige can do it, and that's alone, and that's going through anybody she had to go through. I mean, Paige replaced AJ Lee. Man, I loved AJ Lee, but when Paige came out, I was like, man, I know we have AJ Lee leaving, and that sucks because CM Punk got fired or quit, and now we know AJ Lee's gonna have to leave. So, like, who else am I gonna like? Who else am I gonna watch? You know, and I enjoyed watching her, but like I said, it was her time to go. So when Paige made her debut, it it made me look to myself and think, you know what? Maybe there is somebody else that I can watch, that I can love to see, you know, on Monday Night Raws or whatever, because, you know, nobody else, no other diva was doing it at the time. Nobody else could, like, make me, like, when it came to the Divas wrestling, I wasn't really watching it. But when you have other women like Paige and AJ Lee, and, you know, just Sasha Banks, you know, Alexa Bliss, and you have them come out and they change, like, the whole, you know, the whole industry on the flip of a dime. You know, they make you want to watch. They make you want to be into the drama. So, as you guys have heard, Paige has been forced to retire from the WWE as a performer, as a wrestler. Her injuries have caught up to her. And in a recent house show, she was injured, or she re-injured her back when she was wrestling in a six women's tag team match. Sasha Banks um, kicked her in the back. She lost feeling, and she had to be escorted out by ambulance and whatnot. So she is going to be out for good. WWE has announced recently that Paige has to retire from in-ring competition. They are saying that she's not going to be gone from the WWE like, completely. She'll be there as a face, possibly an agent, possibly someone to help her out with the divas in the back. But as far as her wrestling, her career is over. But like any other superstar out there, where there's an ending, there's a beginning. And we are going to talk about the beginning, the middle, and the ending. Because on this episode of The Broken Mic, we do come out here and we talk about news and rumors, but we also want to remember fellow superstars who made a name for themselves and try so hard to give us what we want as fans, but to have it all taken away because of injuries, because of WWE's rules. So today we are talking about the rise and the fall of Paige. In her early life, Belvis, I don't know if I'm saying her name wrong, whether it's Belvis or Beavis or fuck, I don't know, that's a weird name. Belvis was born and raised in Norfolk, the daughter of professional wrestler Patrick Belvis and Julia Hammer Belvis, who once unknowingly wrestled while she was 7 months pregnant with Belvis as a child. Wow, 7 months pregnant. Belvis was scared of wrestling because of the injuries her family received at the concept that her parents fought other people for a living. She also intended to become a zoologist. At the age of 13, she officially made her debut as a wrestler. At the age of 15, Belvis worked as a bouncer, at a bartender, and at her parents' bar while they were away. She attended the Hewitt School in Norwich, graduating in 2008. So, even even before she was born, Paige, a fetus in her mom's stomach, was already in the ring, wrestling. Her mom was pregnant 7 months, and she was wrestling. How do you do that nowadays in WWE? You can't do shit like that. If you're pregnant, you're sidelined. But before she was even born, she was already in the business. It's a shame that after all that, she didn't want to be a wrestler because of all the injuries her parents got. But then to have her career be ended by injuries is one thing. I mean, like, it's the reason why she didn't want to become a wrestler. And now she became something, and now she has to step down. Her worst fears came true. This is the European Independent Circuit from 2005 to 2011. Belvis made her debut in 2005 at the age of 13 when her father, who was running the show, asked her to replace a wrestler who failed to turn up. Her earliest record match was in April 2006 when she, using the ring name Brittany Knight, teamed with her mother for a loss in a triple threat tag team match in a World Association of Wrestling, WAW. Knight then aligned with Melody to form a tag team called the Norfolk Dolls, based on the movie The California Dolls, and they wrestled in multiple English promotions. The Norfolk Dolls won the new World Association of Women's Wrestling Tag Team Championship belts in 2007 of June by defeating the Legion of Womb. Womb. The fuck kind of is that? But it became inactive due to no title defense by the Norfolk Dolls. At the age of 14, Knight sent resumes to numerous wrestling promotions around Europe and earned a chance to wrestle in countries like Scotland, Wales, Belgium, France, Turkey, Denmark, Norway, and Germany, as well as the United States, managing to travel by herself at 14. She began to compete for singles championship without much initial success. In Scotland, Knight competed for the World Wide Wrestling League women's title, but lost to Sarah in the tournament finals in September 2007. In December 2007, Knight took part in a tournament where the winner would become the first WAWW British champion, but lost in the finals to Jeddah. In 2008, Knight challenged both Sarah and Jeddah for their respective titles, but failed in her title bids. Knight went on to achieve more singles success in 2009. In August 2009, Knight defeated her mother, Sweet Sarah Ja, in a 2-out-of-3 falls match to capture the vacant Hertz and Access Women's Championship belt, the HEW Women's Championship belt. Later that month, Knight once again defeated Sarah Ja to capture the WAWW British Championship belt. In November 2009, Knight captured the Real Deal Wrestling Women's Championship from her mother in an elimination match, also featuring Chelsea Love and Stacy Baby. In December 2009, while in HEW, Knight won the RKW Champions Women's Champion Love and Stacy Baby in champion match with her HEW Women's Championship on the line. In May of 2010, Knight and her mother challenged Amazon and Anaya for the PWF Ladies Tag Team Championship, which they won on July 17, 2010. Knight lost the HEW Women's Championship to her mother. So from the age of 14, she was already winning championship belts left and right. I mean, she won so many belts, it's not even crazy. It's not even funny anymore. It's like she was already destined for success before she came to WWE. And of course, from there on, she went on to be very successful. On January 22nd, 2011, Knight captured the German Stampede Wrestling Ladies Championship belt from Blue Nikita. So she went on and she won titles here and there, all over her country. Before coming to the United States, she already set the bar for herself, but the bar just kept going higher and higher and higher and higher. She wanted to break out of her current situation. She wanted to break out and come to the place that everybody wants to wrestle at, and that's WWE, the World Wrestling Entertainment. Everybody wants to come to WWE. So after all that success that she had at home and in her home country, she decided that she was going to come to WWE. Because you can only win so many championships at home until, it's time to go somewhere else. It's time to make a name for myself somewhere else. It's time to raise the bar once again. So Paige spent her entire life wrestling. Before she was even born, she was wrestling. Her family's she comes from families. She comes from a background of wrestling. Her mom and dad, they owned their own wrestling company. Her mom was, her mom wore championship gold around her waist, as her dad too as well. She defeated her own mom to win certain belts. So so Paige is one of a kind. We'll never see a girl like Paige in WWE again. She's gone through so much. You know, she's dealt with so much in the last 2 years. But when you have so many women coming in and out of WWE, you feel like you're being replaced every 5 minutes. So she reacted certain ways because she felt like she was being booted out. Take in mind, she was very young when she came into WWE as well. Florida Championship Wrestling from 2011 to 2012. Yes, Belvis was first informed that there would be tryouts for WWE when a talent scout came to a show in England. She was unsuccessful in her first try in the fuck, I lost my freaking where was I at? She was unsuccessful in her first try in November 2010, but succeeded in April 2011. In September 2011, Belvis signed a contract with WWE and was signed to its then developmental territory, which was called FCW at the time. FCW, she made her debut for FCW at a house show on the 5th of January 2012 using the ring name Sarah Ja, or Sarah Ya. I'm just gonna call her Sarah. Using her ring name Sarah. Her ring name was then changed to Paige, as she made her televised debut in an appearance in a February 26th episode of FCW TV from March 2012. Paige formed an alliance with Sofia Cortez, dubbing themselves the Anti-Diva Army, where the duo lost to Andre Marie and Caitlyn. Paige and Cortez then formed a brief association with Rick Victor, winning a mixed match tag team match against Andre Marie and Aiden English. On May 6th, Paige pinned the FCW Women's Champion Raquel Diaz in a non-title triple threat match, which also involved Andre Marie. This earned Paige a championship match against Diaz on the 27th of May episode of FCW TV, where Diaz led to Paige being disqualified as Diaz retained her title. The tension was teased within the Anti-Diva Army as Paige moved on to feud with Andre Marie. Paige lost to Marie on June 11th on FCW TV after Cortez interfered against her, signaling the end of the alliance. On the final episode of FCW TV on July 15th, Paige and Cortez ended their feud with Marie emerging victorious in a no disqualification match. NXT Women's Champion, 2012 to through 2014. Yes. WWE went on to rebrand its developmental territory FCW into NXT. Paige's NXT television debut took place on the third episode of the reboot NXT, taped at a Full Sail University, in which she lost to Sofia Cortez. From September 2012, after gaining a large surge in the crowd support, Paige went on a winning streak, defeating the likes of Andre Marie, Sasha Banks, Emma, Asuka, Asana, and multiple victories over Alicia Fox. On January 30th, 2013, Paige was assaulted by ring announcer Summer Rae due to the raised jealousy of Paige's popularity and success. Let's see real quick. Alright, guys, sorry about that. My daughter was calling me. She wanted me to make her some pancakes real quick. They were already made, but she wanted me to cut them. Alrighty, so where were we? Hope you guys enjoyed that video. So Paige made her debut on NXT. Was FCW. She then was NXT was then FCW was then rebranded to NXT. So she went on to face the likes of like Sasha Banks, Emma, Summer Rae. She made a name for herself in NXT. She was starting to people were starting to notice her. So WWE decided to then put the belt on her, and of course we saw her debut on Raw. Let's keep on reading real quick. On January 30th, 2013, Paige was assaulted by ring announcer Summer Rae due to Rae's jealousy of Paige's popularity and success. On February 13th, the episode of NXT, Paige suffered a shoulder injury. The beginning of the end, right there. The beginning of the end. On February 13th episode of NXT, Paige suffered a shoulder injury. Um, it starts with one injury, and after that, it's like a domino effect. One injury equals two, equals 4, 6, 8, and then next thing you know it, your career's ended. After brawling with Summer Rae, you know, can't wrestle for shit. Of course you're gonna injure somebody. You have a professional like Paige, and you have someone like Summer Rae who's probably haven't been wrestling that long, and you put them together. Summer Rae's bound to injure somebody. It's always the inexperience that injure the experience. Paige just suffered a shoulder injury after brawling with Summer Rae, which Rae exploded later that episode of to end Paige's undefeated streak. After Paige continued to confront Rae, Paige defeated Rae in a singles match. Despite Rae's pre-match attack on May 1st of NXT in June, Paige entered a tournament to determine the first NXT Women's Champion. She defeated Tamina Snuka and Alicia Fox en route to the finals, in which she defeated Emma to become the inaugural champion. The episode aired on tape, delayed on the July 24, 2013. Today, WWE officially begins her reign. So, Paige becomes the first ever NXT Women's Champion. But not before she got injured. Thanks to Summer Rae, who is no longer with us right now. Thank God. Paige made her successful title defense on August 14th episode of NXT, defeating Summer Rae. In the following months, Paige teamed up with Emma to feud with Summer Rae and Sasha Banks. Paige successfully defended her title against Natalya on December 4th episode of NXT and against Emma and at NXT Arrivals. On the 24th of April, Paige was forced to vacate her NXT Women's Championship, ending her reign at 274 days due to being elevated to the main roster and winning the Divas Championship belt. So I guess just like Asuka, she was forced to give up her championship belt. That was just bullshit. She should have had that. They should have had her defend that belt. She should have defended the belt to someone like Sasha Banks or Emma, and she should have put over somebody else. But instead they're so hell bent on wanting to keep them undefeated. They have them vacate the belt, which is stupid to be honest to me. So after being in NXT, after struggling to get where she wanted to be, Paige finally made a name for herself. Paige finally made it to the main roster. She won the Divas Championship belt on her first night on Raw. She was the first woman to hold NXT Gold and WWE Gold on the same night at the same time. It's too bad that they had to have her relinquish her NXT belt, but from there, that's where her career skyrocketed. From there, everyone knew who Paige was. Paige made her unannounced debut on the main roster on April 7th, 2014 episode of Raw, the night after WrestleMania. Congratulating Divas champion AJ Lee on her successful title defense at the pay-per-view event, after which AJ slapped Paige, challenging her to an impromptu match for the Divas Championship belt, which Paige quickly won, making her the youngest Divas champion in history at the age of 21, the first Diva to win the title in her debut match, and the only Diva to hold both Diva and NXT Women's Championship at the same time. I actually was watching Raw that night, and even I was shocked to see that, on her first debut, Paige won the Divas Championship belt, defeated AJ Lee, one of my favorites of all time. Um, and that was surprising to me as well. Um, here we are. Lost my freaking. That's what I was reading at. Says Paige had her first successful title defense on April 18th episode of Raw in a non-proven match against Brie Bella, which went to a no contest due to Kane attacking Brie as Paige escaped. In her first successful title defense on the pay-per-view, Paige defeated Tamina Snuka and on May 4th at Extreme Rules. So there, Paige suffered her first defeat on the main roster on the 19th of May episode of Raw against Alicia Fox. Alicia Fox, are you fucking kidding me? In a non-title match. That was back in the day when Alicia Fox, was somebody. They were pushing her like crazy. Now she's just some kind of jobber. Which led to a title match between the two at Payback, where Paige prevailed in June. Paige started a feud with Cameron and defeated her in two non-title matches. However, Cameron tag team partner Naomi went on to defeat Paige in a non-title match and was granted a title match at Money in the Bank pay-per-view, which Paige won. During this time, Paige was criticized for failing to develop Paige's character despite being able to do so for Paige's opponent and portraying Paige as a vulnerable champion while she was providing herself in a storyline. Yeah, that's pretty stupid. So Paige won the women's Divas belt from AJ Lee. She went on to successfully defend her belt at several pay-per-views, defeating several superstars. But as quick as she was to get popularity, she was starting to lose popularity with the fans and with the girls in the back. On the post Monday on the post Money in the Bank episode of Raw on the 30th of June, a role reversal occurred when a returning AJ Lee quickly defeated Paige in a title match to regain the Divas Championship belt, in which Paige was initially reluctant to face Lee, but she then agreed to the match per request of the live audience. Despite the championship loss, Paige acted as if she were best friends with Lee during tag matches in which they teamed up together at Battleground. Paige lost a rematch for the Divas Championship belt to Lee on the post Battleground episode of Raw on the 21st July. Paige and Lee won a tag team match against Emma and Natalia. Paige then turned heel after viciously assaulting Lee. This eventually set up another title match between the two on August 17th, Paige's 22nd birthday. At SummerSlam, which Paige won to capture her second Divas Championship belt. A month later, at Night of Champions, Paige lost the title back to Lee in a triple threat match, which also involved Nikki Bella. And then get me started on Nikki Bella. She held that belt way too goddamn long. Paige then formed an alliance with Alicia Fox while still feuding with Lee. But after Fox failed to secure Paige a victory in another title match against Lee at Hell in a Cell, Paige dissolved their alliance by attacking Fox the following night on Raw at Survivor Series. Paige participated in a 4-on-4 elimination tag team match where she was the last person from her team to eliminate Naomi. On January 5th, 2015 episode of Raw, Paige became a fan favorite again as she recruited Natalya from a post-match assault by Divas champion Nikki Bella. Wow. Nikki Bella is already the Divas champion, which led to a non-title match between the two the following night on main event, which Paige won. This led to a tag team match between Paige and Natalya against the Bella Twins at the Royal Rumble, which the Bella Twins won. Following weeks being tormented by the Bella Twins, Paige unsuccessfully challenged Nikki for the Divas Championship belt at Fastlane. On March 2nd episode of Raw, after which the returning AJ Lee saved Paige from a post-match attack by the Bellas. This led to a tag team match at WrestleMania 31 between Paige and Lee against the Bella Twins, which Paige and Lee won in Paige at WrestleMania debut. On April 13th episode of Raw, Paige won a battle royal to become the number one contender to Nikki Bella's Divas Championship belt, and was attacked after the match by Naomi, who injured her in the storyline and made her unable to compete. Paige returned on the 18th May episode of Raw after a one absence, saying Nikki Bella from a attack by Naomi and Tamina Snuka before attacking Bella as well. This prompted a triple threat match between Paige, Naomi, and Nikki at Elimination Chamber, which Paige lost. In June, Paige went on to unsuccessfully challenge Nikki Bella for the championship in two singles matches on Raw and at Money in the Bank. After Nikki and Brie switched places and in a triple threat match on July 4th at the Beast in the East, which involved Tamina. So as quick as she won the belt, she lost that belt as well. Paige was already on her way down from being replaced, because Nikki Bella, she won that belt, and she held that belt for a very, very long time. People are saying she held that belt way too long. So after all that, we get to what we like to call the Women's Revolution, 2015 through 2016. The Women's Revolution at first was pretty cool. I liked it. I liked the way they introduced it. I like how they were giving everybody a chance to shine. I like how they were giving the divas, time in their matches. But, it started off great. Then it just slowly started to fall. Just like Paige's career. And even now, it's not. Right now, the bridge is barely holding on to itself. One day it's slowly going to just crumble, and the divas or the women of wrestling are going to be looked at as just divas once again. The Women's Revolution. On July 13th episode of Raw, after weeks of being outnumbered by the Bella Twins and their ally Alicia Fox, Stephanie McMahon called a revolution in the Divas division, introducing the debuting Charlotte and Becky Lynch as Paige's allies, an NXT Women's Champion Sasha Banks as an NXT Women's Champion Sasha Banks as an ally of Naomi and Tamina, which led to the brawl between the three teams. The trio of Paige, Charlotte, and Lynch, originally dubbed Suspension Sorority. I'm sorry, originally top. Originally dubbed Submission Sorority, but what was renamed Team PCB. After the first name initials of each wrestler, the three teams would ultimately face off at SummerSlam in a three-team elimination match, which PCB won after Becky Lynch pinned Brie Bella. On August 31st episode of Raw, all the members of PCB competed in the first ever Divas Beat the Clock Challenge, but Charlotte was named number one contender for the Divas Championship belt. As Paige fought Sasha Banks to a time limit draw, this led to two matches between Paige and Banks on the 7th and 14th September episode of Raw, which Paige won, and on the 10th of September episode of SmackDown, where the two fought to a no contest. Charlotte won the Divas Championship belt from Nikki Bella on September 20th at Night of Champions. That was the rise of Charlotte Flair, and 245 days of her holding that belt. I think probably shorter or longer, I'm not sure. I know it was longer than what Paige held it for. I'm kind of slacking on some bacon right now. Sorry about that. Gotta love me some bacon. So after losing her belt, Paige tried so hard to get it back. From her turning heel to her turning babyface, back and forth. She tried. WWE, they brought her up to the main roster, but the way they used her was not so great. And it's kind of the way they're using all that's kind of the way they're using all the superstars on Raw and SmackDown. They're great in NXT, but once you come to the main roster, you're crap. You start off looking good, but WWE just wears you out. It's ridiculous. It says here, Charlotte Flair won the Divas Championship from Nikki Bella on September 20th at Night of Champions. And during her celebration the following night on Raw, Paige turned on her partners and a cut work shoot promo where she claimed Charlotte was only there because of her father, and berated her other members of the Divas division, including Lynch and Natalya. This also led to Paige having multiple confrontations with Natalya throughout October. Paige acted as if she wanted to reconcile with Lynch and Charlotte, only to attack them in November. Paige became a new number one contender for Charlotte's Divas Championship belt after winning a fatal four-way match, but was unsuccessful in regaining the title on 3 different occasions at Survivor Series, and she lost by submission. The following night on Raw, in a rematch which ended in a double countout at TLC, when she won, she once again lost. Paige took some time off television after her rivalry with Charlotte due to injuries, and returned on the 18th of January 2016 episode of Raw, accompanied by former rival Natalya to her match against Brie Bella. Upon her return, Paige started competing in various singles and tag team matches, ending on both winning and losing sides. Paige then aligned herself with fellow Total Divas cast member Brie Bella, Natalya, Alicia Fox, and Eva Marie, facing Lana, Naomi, Tamina, Summer Rae, and Emma in a 10 Diva tag team match on the WrestleMania 32 kickoff show, which Team Total Diva won again. After defeating WWE After defeating WWE Women's Champion Charlotte on 2 occasions, Paige was granted a title match on um, June 20th episode of Raw, where she failed again to capture the title and would be attacked by Charlotte and her um, um, where she was attacked by Charlotte and Dana Brooke post match before being saved by Sasha Banks. This led to a tag team match the following week on the 27th episode of Raw in June, where Paige and Banks scored the victory. So she was given multiple title shots, and they all they used her was just to hype up pay-per-views. You know, they kind of like tricked the fans, like, hey, like she might win it this time. Watch or the pay-per-view, and then did she win? Nope, nope, nope. So she's the type of champion that she's the type of like competitor that they use to sell merchandise or to hype up shows. Because at the end of the day, nobody was going to beat Charlotte. Nobody was going to beat Charlotte for a very long time, and we know that. WWE knows that too. Here's the beginning of the end for Paige. This is when things started taking a turn for the worse for Paige. Paige took some time off television after her rivalry with Charlotte due to injuries, and returned on the 18th to 27th. What the fuck? I'm tripping over here. Hold on. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm tripping. This led to a tag team match the following week on June, where Paige and Banks scored the victory. This is where things take a turn to the worst over here. Suspension and hiatus, 2016 through 2017. As part of a 2016 WWE draft, which took place on July 19th, Paige was drafted to Raw. On August 3rd, her mother reviewed on Twitter that she was on hiatus due to injury. On the 17th August, Paige was suspended for 30 days after violating the company's wellness policy. She later explained that she had not failed a drug test, but that suspension was due to a procedure issued. In September 2016, Paige revealed that she would be undergoing neck surgery and would not be wrestling for an undisclosed amount of time. On October 10th, Paige was suspended again for her second violation of the wellness policy, for this time for 60 days. Belvis subsequently tweeted, "Same shit, different day. Kids, please don't get prescriptions or doctor notes. Not applicable and not acceptable." Her father released a statement saying she had been prescribed medication for her neck injury. However, WWE issued a statement saying that she had tested positive for an illegal substance, not a prescription drug. On October 19th, she underwent successful neck injury. In September 2017, Paige was cleared to return in-ring competition. What this article failed to realize and say that Paige also went through some crazy shit with Alberto Del Rio. Alberto Del Rio and Paige hooked up on Raw. They both were suspended at the same time. For a whole year, Paige and Alberto Del Rio, they just raised hell. On Twitter, on Periscope, on Facebook. They got in trouble at the airport. Paige got in trouble with authorities at the airport. Supposedly her and Del Rio were arguing about something. I think charges are still pending on that. What else? Paige's phone was hacked. She had a bunch of nude photos of her and other WWE superstars. There were nude photos, there were nude videos. They were her own private collection, but they got leaked nonetheless. So she went through all that crap. Um, her and Alberto Del Rio, you know, broke up. She went through all that. So in the in that whole year she was gone, she already had been to hell and back. But you know, we thought it was gonna be impossible. We thought WWE was gonna fire her. We thought WWE was gonna get rid of her for all the crap that she had been pulling. But we started getting news and rumors about her returning to Raw. We didn't know when she was gonna return, but we knew she was gonna return nonetheless. So in on the November 2017 episode of Raw, Paige made her return alongside the debut of Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville as they attacked Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Mickie James, as well as Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss, thus establishing herself as a heel in the process. A week later, the trio announced that they had named their group Absolution. I mean, I gotta admit, when I first saw this, I was excited for Paige, for Amanda Rose, for getting her in ring debut on Raw, and Sonya Deville. It was good to see somebody. It was good to see a strong women's stable on Raw. Something different, something positive that we can see. Um, Following week on Raw, Paige made her in-ring return on December 15th. A week later, the trio announced that they had named their group Absolution. The following week on Raw, Paige made her in-ring return on the 5th December on the December 5th episode of Raw, defeating Sasha Banks. Later in the night, the group attacked Alicia Fox on the 1st of January episode of Raw. Paige and her stable Absolution declared to enter the first ever 2018 Royal Rumble match for the women. At a house show on December 28th, Paige suffered another injury after taking a kick from Sasha Banks in a 6-woman tag team match, thus forcing the referee to stop the match. I mean, you have a woman like Paige who has, you know, been injured, has had back injuries, neck injuries, and you have a woman like Sasha Banks who has been having back injuries as well. So you would think that a person like Sasha Banks, who has been out for injuries because of her back and her neck and whatnot, would take it easy on Paige and would not do something careless like that to re-injured Paige. But that was not the case. Sasha Banks kicked the crap out of her. I saw that video. She kicked her way too goddamn hard. At first, we thought it was going to be something minor, because we saw Paige the following week on Raw. But later, it was announced that Paige was going to be forced to retire from in-ring competition. It says here, in July 2012, Channel 4 produced a documentary about Belvis and her family titled "The Wrestlers Fighting with My Family." The documentary is being turned into a film by writer and director Stephen Merchant and Dwayne Johnson, entitled "Fighting with My Family," with Florence Pugh playing Belvis. Paige has appeared in a WWE video games. Paige has appeared in 4 WWE video games. She made her in-game debut as a downloadable character in WWE 2K15, and is featured as a playable character in WWE 2K16, 17, and 18. In October 2014, Paige joined the cast of Total Divas, a reality television show produced by WWE and E! For the second part of the show, third season, which began airing in 2015, Paige guest starred as on the 14th January 2016 episode of the MTV series Ridiculousness. She appeared alongside Natalia, Brie, and Christine's family on the 80th Academy Award edition of E! Countdown to the Red Carpet. In March 2015, Paige was featured in Smosh 131's first installment of Game Bang, along with Xavier Woods and Seth Rollins and Daniel Bryan's. Paige frequently appeared at Wizards World Comic Con event across the United States, hosting fan signing, photo ops, and Q&A sessions. In June 2015, Paige became one of the judges on the sixth season of Tough Enough. That I didn't know. Before the show started, Paige predicted that she would fulfill a role similar to Simon Cowell as a judge. On August 3rd, 2015, Paige was a guest on the Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast, which aired on the WWE Network. She was a guest on the Conan on. She was a guest on Conan on the October 22nd. Paige has appeared in 2 WWE studio films: Santa's Little Helper, released in 2015 of November, and Scooby Doo and WWE Curse of the Speed Demon, in which she provided a voice role and was released in July 2016. She provided a voice role in the WWE studios as a Sony Pictures animation film Surf's Up 2 Wave Mania, which was released in 2017. That was pretty much her filmography. Oh. So there you have it, guys. It's official. It sucks. We all tried to deny it, but Paige is officially done with wrestling. It sucks because I was just starting to like Paige again. WWE was just starting to reintroduce Paige to us again, and just like that, they just take the rug out from under us. So Paige reportedly done as in ring WWE performer due to injury. Says WWE superstar Paige reportedly was informed this week that she will not be cleared to return to in-ring competition, likely marking the end of her wrestling career in WWE. Multiple sources told PW insider Mike Johnson that WWE's doctors will not allow Paige to return to a physical role following an injury she suffered on October 28th during a live event, a match in New York. It was initially believed that Paige had suffered a stinger, but further testing reportedly found that it was worse than initially expected, per Johnson. Paige missed 17 months of action due to neck injury before returning to WWE programming in November. Per Johnson, Paige's situation is similar to that of WWE's Hall of Famer Edge, who was forced to retire in 2011 after suffering multiple neck injuries. Upon returning to WWE near the end of 2017, Paige turned heel and introduced a new stable known as Absolution, which also includes former NXT superstar Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. Paige has not yet wrestled. Paige has not wrestled since suffering the injury in December, but she did accompany Deville and Rose to the ring for a tag team match on the January 8th episode of Raw. The 25th-year-old native of England, of England, became the youngest Diva champion in WWE history when she defeated AJ Lee in her debut match on the main roster in 2014. Paige won the title on 2 occasions and was also the first NXT Women's Champion. The Anti-Diva recently announced her entry into the first ever Women's Royal Rumble at the January 28th Rumble pay-per-view, but her status likely means WWE will be forced to find a replacement. So there you have it, guys. That is the rise and the fall of Paige. You know, it's sad month in wrestling when we get Paige back, but then we have to let her go all overs again. Um, who knows what they're gonna do with Paige? I hope that they still keep her around, but if they don't, and she is forced to be off TV, um, I hope that when WWE releases her from her contract, that she tries to go to, like, Ring of Honor or New Japan Pro Wrestling, because we will miss her. I mean, she can wrestle if she wants to, but WWE won't let her. Let's see, real quick. Before we leave, I want to watch one video of Paige returning to Raw one last time. Here we go, guys. This is the in-ring return of Paige. We shall miss you now and forever. If your contract is ever up with WWE and you decide you want to wrestle just like Daniel Bryan, despite you being injured, we would love that. Because, I mean, like I said, if WWE wanted to let her wrestle, she could wrestle. It's not a big fucking deal. I mean, how many times has WWE had other wrestlers injured in the past while wrestling? WWE is too busy not trying to get sued in the process. But that's the only reason why they won't let her wrestle. Other than that, like, I mean, she could wrestle if she wants to. But it's gonna be sad. You are gonna be missed, Paige. You are gonna be missed. Let's watch Paige's Raw return one last time before we go.
Take advantage of this situation right here. That's the question. Wait a minute. She's back. Oh my God. Paige is back.
How glorious was that? How great.
Did you miss me? I'm sorry, ladies, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your business. I just had something to say to you and every single one of these people out here today. And that is, I'm back. But I didn't come alone.
Sasha and Mickey can't figure out what is going on here. Now, wait a minute, who the is it? It's from behind. players in town.
Now Bailey going right after Neville, trying to fight back here. And right after Mandy Rose, and now Paige.
What's the allegiance? What's the alliance? Why are these ladies with Paige?
I don't care, man. The more the merrier.
Welcome back, Paige and friends.
And Alicia Fox wants nothing to do with him. Of course, there's a tough enough allegiance here, but I mean, Mandy Rose now going right after Mickey James. Look at this.
That's right, baby.
You want to burst on the scene and make an impact.
Yeah,
This is how you
man.
do it.
Yeah, you take out the boss and Mickey James.
Statement. It's a statement right here, Cole.
And Paige has her sights set on Bailey. Paige with the rampage. The former champion Paige
I like it.
back.
I like it.
And she brought some friends.
I have never not been happy to see Mandy Rose. What a shocking set of debuts. Paige just turned the women's division upside down.
With the help of Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville.
Here you have it, guys. The rise and the fall of Paige. We shall miss you now and forever. Hopefully WWE keeps you on television, as an agent. I mean, there's no reason why we can't have Paige to back up, just walk out with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Hopefully we get Sasha Banks to join the mix as a heel as well. What else? I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Be sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. Help us grow this show to 100 subscribers by WrestleMania 34. Follow us on Twitter at the JT and Candy Show under That Wrestling Show. If you're a new subscriber, I want to thank you for subscribing to the show. I want to thank you for being a new viewer. That's greatly appreciated. What else? Trying to do something real quick. Hold on.
Rumors. I don't make something up off the top of my head. I give you what is.
Sorry about that. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed the rise and the fall of Paige. Subscribe to the show for future videos and updates. Help grow this channel. Help us get us to 100 subscribers from WrestleMania. From now to WrestleMania. I will see you tomorrow for a Monday Night Raw review. I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Broken Mic. This is the first part of The Broken Mic. I'll have part 2 of The Broken Mic probably come out tomorrow before the Monday Night review, or possibly tonight. So you guys have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you later on. Thank you. Bye-bye.